real network. It's not about any one social network. This now becomes a human network. These are all people talking specifically about a product segment that are connecting and linking to each other on Facebook, Twitter, blogs, and traditional media. This is how you figure out where you need to be, and the only way to do that is by researching it, finding the influential voices out there. And it's not going to happen simply because you sent a press release to TechCrunch and Mashable and Read Write Web and had everybody hit the story at the same time and made the top of tech news, because as quickly as that happens, it quickly fades away. Dave. So I call this a yo-yo on an escalator, because this is how this stuff works. You either spike or you valley. And that is how most companies treat marketing and public relations. And if you want to get your company noticed, you have to stay top of mind. You have to stay visible on a daily basis, because it's really easy to get left behind. So if you have a news release, well, that's a spike. If you have an event like Twiistup, if you have a product release or an update, that's a spike. But in between those events are the valleys. And those are the valleys of where you get forgotten. So the point is, how do you stay visible? You need to stay visible. Because markets like this are happening right now with or without you. The point is that there is no echo chamber. There is no one market opportunity for you. There is no one audience. Everything is its own opportunity. And these conversations are influenced by all kinds of things that you just need to pay attention to and apply resources to. When you're going to seek your funding, when you're going for that next round or your angel, set aside some money. It's as important to you in the long term and in the short term as the design of your product, as the functionality of your product. Because what happens is, if you can connect with the leading voices in each of these markets, you can create resonance, and that resonance starts to permeate until it laps over, creating one big market. This is what we call the social effect. I mean, you all have seen it. Everybody's retweeted or been retweeted a bunch of times. Well, you know, what happens when you combine that with comments and link backs and retweets and everything? It just starts to spread. And if you can continue to ping those pebbles in the pond, you increase the resonance. You increase the network effect. Otherwise, it's really easy to vanish. No matter how big of a launch you have, no matter how many tens of thousands of users you get in a 24-hour period, they will go away if you're not paying attention to them or reminding them that you're there. Because the point of all of this is that this is how we earn influence. This is how we earn presence. This is how we earn the visibility and attention. And this is how we win over users and how we empower our community. It's not just about only going out to those key Web 2.0 blogs when you have something to say. Because the time in between that is market share loss, or opportunity cost, or missing the bigger market because you were too busy focusing on the product and not necessarily applying money to marketing or public relations. Let me take it back. Good or effective marketing or public relations, because Lord knows enough shitty practitioners out there. But instead you use the money to hire a nice chef or cater in some badass food, because you got to keep the developers happy. We also got to keep the market happy, because they're the ones who are going to define the success of your product. And a couple of things that I just wanted to share with you too, because a lot of companies who do get this maybe slip a little bit when they're going out, and that is because they haven't figured out what it is that they want to portray to the world. Who are they? What do they stand for? What problems do they solve? They simply will just start talking to bloggers on their own. They'll simply set up a Twitter account and start tweeting. They'll set up a Facebook fan page or a group or what have you, but not necessarily think about what it is that image that they want to portray, what it is they stand for. You know, who is the audience? Are we talking to investors? Are we talking to, you know, geeks? What part of the bell curve are we trying to reach, and why? And what's unique to them? You know, what's our brand personality? If you're going to get out there on Twitter and start being yourself, and we're seeing this right now with Best Buy and the 12th Force, you know, if you looked at the streams of the people who are actively helping as part of Best Buy's 12th Force, it would blow you away of some of the shit that's coming out of their mouths. The point is because they're confusing the personality of themselves versus the brand that they represent. Dave. So I call it multiple personality order. You have to be somebody different. If you're representing the company, if you are the company, remember that who you are and the brand that you represent are sometimes two different things. So figure it out. You know, I'll publish this online, but this is an exercise that I came up with to help you establish who you are to bloggers, to people on Twitter, to people in social networks. One more forward. These are just some of the things that we're using now to measure the effectiveness of this stuff, right? It's not just about how many times your name was mentioned. It's not how many retweets you got. It's about specific things like how many links back did you get? How many unique visitors did something within your site? How many people downloaded it? How many referred something back to you? How many people registered for something? These are real, tangible elements that can measure the things that you're doing and justify its expenditure. But in the end, I don't know how else to say it. I mean, we earn the attention, trust, and reputation we deserve. If we're absent, then we're absent. But if we're part of it, and if we're proactive, then we can be part of that conversation. We can be part of that influence. We can also be that resource to the market and to the community and to the other influencers and peers who are looking for information, looking for help, looking for direction. Because without your participation, without your involvement, without your presence, it's easy to leave the room open for competitors to step in, even if their product sucks, even if their solution is worse than yours. Because the news flash is that customers need help in perceiving the value of your product. Most of them don't figure it out on their own. So with that, I want to thank you very much. If you guys have any questions, I'll be here at the bar drinking mimosas, and I will see you guys later. Thank you.